it's just a few more days that Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola
will
has.
leave his office.
Yes, the government house.
Yeah,
The very coveted seats.
He has no choice. He has served out his
4 years, 2 terms.
4 years, 2 terms, 8 years.
That's 8 years.
And the posterity will judge him. If he has done well, or he has not done well. When he leaves, that is when we begin to talk much about all he has done, because the praise singers around him might not be able to allow him see clearly the jobs, whether he has done them well or not. But one thing I must say about our politicians is let them work with the grassroots. It's so important. A leader is a leader, not necessarily because you are better than any other person. A leader becomes a leader because, and at that point you're a leader, you supposed to be a leader servant, not necessarily one who roughshod over other people's affairs.
So when you say leader servant, what do you mean?
You are elected to serve the people. I hope every leader understands that very concept. That when you are elected or when you are put on the helm of affairs or to look over people, just like a head and the man that sees the affair, you take care of the heads. That's why we call them headsmen. You take care of the heads that is being entrusted onto your hand. But what we get in this part of the country is those who have been elected and they run roughshod over us, not minding how we feel sometimes, not knowing what bothers us, not actually trying to create palliative measures to really subdue our worries. And that's why we don't as much see our leaders as those who are important to us. What is the genesis of vote buying? Vote buying is making some groups happy to really vote for you by using money to induce them.
Or whatever way
it is. Because vote buying cannot be under encouragement. You can't encourage people to vote for you. They will not mind you. But money is involved. And like these are the same people who works for you. They work for you. So pay them as that when due. Now, this brings me to Ekiti. Ekiti, state government is owing her workers for many months, only to ridicule them with paltry 3,000 naira when the election was very near. That is vote buying.
In the case of Osun.
I'm coming. I'll go through all those. That is vote buying. That is an official vote buying.
Official vote buying.
Yes, and you know what? When the election was over and it didn't go by the way of the government, what happened? That money was deducted from their salary. And that is...
But we also heard that wasn't the case, because some folks who spoke to some who received that money said it wasn't taken out.
We heard it's everywhere. The information is everywhere. That is just all about that. Now, coming back to Osun election, some weeks to the election, we had the backlog of salaries that were not paid were paid. That is an official vote buying. And our leaders must begin to see all this as one of the things that mitigate against their sponsoring anyone who will come to continue in their stead. Because if a particular leader is not doing well and you are pushing someone forward for us to vote for, we will not. Because you did not do it well, someone coming after you might not do well too.
And there's usually the fear of or the concerns about exposing whoever that principal is, checking through the records, bringing that person to checking the records and making sure that the administration is properly checked.
This is a time we need to tell our leaders what we feel about them. Electionary time or that voting day is the day we need to show our leaders why we are not happy with them. If you vote someone out, I think it's more painful when the person is just doing his first 4 years tenure. It's better that time, vote him out. If he's not performing, then, because if we begin to bring in sentiments, it doesn't work.
But you know, one of the points that I raise at times, you find out that towards the end of that tenure, you find that leader embarking on certain projects, and then they kind of hold the people to ransom. Vote for me a second term so I can complete this project I have started.
If Nigerians are beginning to dance to that, then we've not learned our lesson. If you had a project and you've not completed it before the electioneering time, we definitely know some projects that could be completed within a space of time. We are not fools. So if those projects are not completed within that expected period, we know you are playing on our intelligence. And what that means is that when you need our vote the next time, I'm happy our votes are beginning to count. That is the most important thing I'm beginning to be proud of in this country. At a point in our life when we are going for an election period like this, we might sometimes will not even care, because we will now say, okay, they've chosen their leader, they've chosen who they want. But it's no longer like that now, because all those loopholes have been blocked. Have been plugged. So meaning that whatever thing we do now, certainly we'll see the result. And with the information technology at our usage, everything seems to be very open. All of us have a phone, not with Nokia touchlight phones, because you can count.
Yes.
You can send.
I know that's the reason that people believe we should even upgrade beyond. Yes, we are using card readers now, we're using permanent voter cards, but that we should upgrade to full electronic voting.
Yes, and we are coming to that. You know, in this Osun election, there were areas where card reader didn't work. There are some local governments, and they resorted to manual voting, and they did. It worked well. If people are taught what to do and enough incentive, that is very key to getting the job done. If you don't provide one with, like what we are discussing about, governors owing, if you are owing your workers, certainly they can't do anything. They will be like, their job attitude will be very, very unnatural. Okay. And so it's so big, because you don't tell someone who is hungry to work at full capacity. Nigerians are beginning to I'm happy, you know.
Yeah, but even with the whole enlightenment, you know, that you're talking about, Nigerians embracing that, do people have to wait for 4 years if from the beginning it is noticed that this leader is not delivering? There is something called recall process. Yeah. But in Nigeria...
Recall, don't let us go there. The recall doesn't work in Nigeria.
Yes, doesn't mean it cannot work.
It might work in times to come, but so far it has not worked. Malaya would have been recalled if it works. Yeah, Malaya would have been recalled.
Isn't it work, because the process went on, but the people didn't come out. So it means yes, it might be lengthy, okay, but on the day that people were meant to come out, and what's the particular English word to use now?
They were intimidated.
Oh, Ziggy.
Yes,
Ziggy.
I have to, yeah.
Ziggy, were you in Kogi State on that day?
No, but we read
because
from paper.
People who were said to have signed the petition were meant to come out and check their signatures and all that. But they didn't come out.
Yeah, for fear of being targeted for an attack.
But do you know that?
Why want to prevent one from coming out? Haven't signed a signature. Come and identify your signature, chickena. But they did not come out for fear of the unknown.
What fear of the unknown?
Good. That is Nigeria for you, because one thing is this: initially, when that record was activated, the people felt, yes, we can do this. And you know, Nigerian kind of politics.
But they carried through.
Nigerian kind of politics.
They carried through, because the matter went to the court. Court gave approval for the process to go on, and then it continued.
Nigerians are the kind of people that they would enjoin you to walk or to fight. They will tell you they are at your back. They are supporting you. They will share you to. They will share you to start work, but they will not share you to victory. That's the natural issue for you.
Ziggy.
They will definitely tell you where to your back. By the time the fight is mature, by the time the fight has taken full blast, look at your back, you will not see your supporters.
Right, Ziggy, in this matter, if we were to bring up now someone who is either a friend or loyalist or from the camp of Senator Dino Melai, for instance, they're going to say something different. And beyond that, actually, because on the day people were meant to come out, Kogi people were meant to come out and identify the signature. I'm coming up with a point. Our correspondents were there, Ziggy.
Did they come out?
Ziggy, I'm coming.
Why did they come
Ziggy,
out?
I'm moving somewhere. They spoke to different people.
Yeah.
Elderly, young, all classes of people. Now there were some categories, some people they spoke to.
Yeah.
Now those people were of the view that they didn't know when those signatures were gathered. Now those were. Afterwards, our correspondents were manhandled.
You are
because
correspondent?
were manhandled in that place.
Okay.
So with the manhandling, what would you say? Would you say whoever manhandled them over that kind of interview was from the camp of the senator?
Okay. Now
would you say that?
You
Ziggy?
painted the scenario. Let me come. A real life scenario, right?
It's real life.
Good, but let me tell you, it's two things: coming out to assent to your signature, to pen your signature. Then, on the other hand, coming out to defend that very signature. Okay, let's go away from.
If your signature wasn't there, would you come out to come and vote?
Let's go away.
Also, you know, there are those who said they were not even in the town.
I'll still go there.
When the signatures were gathered.
Let's okay. All those signatures were forged.
Okay, I don't think I'm a party to that because
that's what you the implication of what you say.
Ziggy,
but
don't put words into my mouth. Look at the issue for issue.
Okay, now these people, we've got signatures of many constituents who said they were dissatisfied with Malawi's activities in the National Assembly, and signatures were all put down. Different kind of signatures that depict or connotes different kind of names and all that. Are they saying no names against those signatures? If they said no, no problem. Now,
some came out. Don't forget, some people came out.
So who were the people?
Ziggy, I believe you were in this country when that incident happened.
Who were the people?
Who were which people?
The people that came out. Who were they?
But it didn't even get up to. Was it just about like 5%? And the rule is that it has to be 50% plus one.
The process is cumbersome
before the recall process can go through.
It's cumbersome and uninteresting and lengthy. So the system had made it such that before you travel from the beginning to midway, you must have exhausted all your powers and all your efforts